Hello everyone, I Radhika Khana welcome you to yet another episode of Lawyer Speaks presented to you by Law Community, wherein we invite brilliant minds of legal fraternity so that we get to peek into their lives and get to know their stories. And today we have with us Advocate Vatsalya Vigya, Advocate on Record, Supreme Court of India, with his specialties in commercial litigation, consumer and criminal law. My first question for you is how did you start your law journey and how has it been till now?
Starting the law journey, I always loved subjects such as mathematics and other science subjects. But I always had a keen interest in doing something which is more towards individually connected to the society and etc. So it was somewhere around I was in 7th or 8th standard. So when it was my first visit to Delhi, and I saw my cousin being who is the lawyer. I saw how he conducted cases and how he did everything. So I was very fascinated. Okay, this is one of the field that coming from Bihar, it's difficult. In our times, from Bihar, people used to do medicals, engineering. But once I saw him doing everything with that zeal, I thought it's one of the best career that I could pursue with. And then gradually the interest generated, and then I practiced and then qualified for my time. There was no CLAT, so qualified for national school, and then I entered a national school. It was Chanakya National University. Qualified, and it has been a very nice journey, ups and down, but it's very entertaining. You love every day out of it, and it's very nice. Everyone who should do, if you're doing anything, whether it's engineering or law, anything, you should love what you do, and it's the same thing. It's a very nice to do that.
So there was this sudden shift from mathematics and science to law just because you visited your cousin and you liked and you were
I just
fascinated by the work he did.
Right. So I still read all the biology books and other things. I still do maths whenever I get time. But I have taken this as a profession where because I liked it, and it's not about learning, reading, and then it's about you have learned it, you apply it as well. So more on application based, less on the mugging it up, and then it's about how you present these things. The same thing as maths happens. So I don't think the shift was because of subjects, but it was more fascinating. That's it. And I'm thankful that I shifted because this is one field which has given me all the freedom to do my work at my will, at my enterprise. So it's that way. It's a better way to excel in your field.
So coming to your professional life, so what type of cases do you generally handle?
I have been in this profession for the last 8 years. Recently, being an advocate on record in Supreme Court. So the cases that I handle are mostly appeals that comes from other states in the Supreme Court, or it also comes as an appeal in the National Consumer Forum. So there are two forums which I have been working more extensively there, Supreme Court and Consumer Forum. And otherwise, the other cases that I deal with is about the criminal laws that are there, criminal cases are there, like mostly small cases that they used to come before, like say check bounces case or small theft cases or something like that. And mostly it was all the land reform cases that we did in Supreme Court. So basically, it's all the appeals that I do because original cases they do come, but they are very less in number. And original complaints are there in Consumer Forum. So basically, I'll call it say an appeal cases that I do more than the other cases.
So when you prepare for a particular case or like any case, what is your approach or what is your philosophy while you prepare for it?
You get a case and you have to prepare for it. So it has to start from the day one, like the appeals that we get. So it has already gone through two forums. So it makes the point of answering and reasoning very clear. But that nevertheless, what you have to do, you have to start from the first thing that has happened. Like for example, if you're doing a criminal case, then you have to start with the FIR. Like what has the FIR said? What is the implication of the FIR? Whom they have named? So everything has to be done like that from the first. So the approach has to be, whenever you are preparing a case, it has to start as if it's the first time that is going before the court, and then you have to start from the beginning. So start with the facts, then the law, and look for the all the cases that has happened in the Supreme Court recently, like about what are the cases on whether there's some new rulings made by the Supreme Court on that or not. Whether if it's a lower court case or a high court case, then whether see a high court has given something or not, a full bench judgment of the high court. So find the case laws, attach with your facts and cases, and then point wise you make a note. After making the note, like for what I do, I write my list of rates and everything clear, and then mark the annexes clearly, all the documents that are important for me to present to the court, and then I have to interlink with all the documents together. And after that, I look for cases wherein there's something or the other thing that is negative for me or positive for me. Both I look and jot it down. Why positive? Because it will help my case ultimately. But why negative? Because the other side will be pointing those cases only. So if you know those cases pointed by the other side, you will have a better chance of saying that why it's not falling in your case. Okay, so it's always good to make both the sides cases ready. Like people, we all do in our moot court in our national schools, we all do our moot courts. We prepare both sides. Both sides preparation is a must. Why? Because we should know what the other side will be saying it. So your approach has to be, it's a very point focused approach that you should all carry forward, saying that you should start from the beginning, forget whether the judgments have been done or not, because you will be approaching a case because against a high court judge. The high court judge has given a judgment, you are appearing against it. So you have to find out points which is against that judgment, and for that you have to start from the beginning, taking help of the cases cited by the Supreme Court, positive, negative, both sides, and then you have to present your case. And mostly, uh, first part goes for a presentation. The second part starts with how well you argue. Then for that you have to learn the court craft. You have to be very patient, very quietly. You have to do it, and following the court, what the court says, and you have to just be patient and tell your own points and nothing more. So that should be the approach. What I suggest.
Okay, so I guess this approach will help many students also for preparing for their moot courts for which they will appear in future.
Right.
So, like, what do you call yourself? A generalist or a specialist, like in professional sense?
Uh, that's a generalist or a specialist. I'll call myself a learner right now, uh, a young person in profession, because it's only 8 years. And if you talk to legal stalwarts, they all say 8-10 years are just a starting phase. So I'll rather frame this question as what I wish to become. I wish to become a specialist, saying that on one field, that's the arguing counsel. I wish to become an arguing counsel sooner, and just and generalist, basically the term and the other things might change nowadays, because there are so many new law courses that have been introduced. So nowadays you'll find three portion of lawyers: one who is drafting, one who is arguing, and third who is doing the back office work. So, and it's nothing on civil or criminal these days in Supreme Court at least. So I would like to call myself in some time, like say 5 years, that a specialist in arguing counsel, and mostly in cases which are there before the Supreme Court, which comes as an appeal. So I will limit myself to the specialist for becoming an arguing counsel.
Okay, and we wish you all the best for whatever you wish for.
Thank you.
Okay. So my next question for you is like, have there been like any situation in your life where any situation which made you question your career choice?
Once you start litigation, the inflow of money is less, but that's the testing time that we all pass through. And those who pass through, it's like a hard nut to crack. Once you crack it, it's very nice. So I have never never ever like the thought have ever passed in my mind, saying that I'm in a wrong profession or wrong career choice that I have done. Only thing that it was bothering me was like, when will I start like you've learned enough? When will that convert into a good earning thing? It takes time, 2 to 3 years, but I have always loved my profession. Like 8 years have passed like some 8 weeks, I say. So I just don't know. Every Monday would have been one of my favorite days, because every Monday you get to argue cases in Supreme Court. So every week was like, I used to talk to my friends who were like, say, engineers, or who were like some in a corporate firm. They used to like say, "Oh, Sunday is over. Now we have to go on a Monday or morning." And I was super excited for Monday because I would be arguing a case in Supreme Court. So I think I waited for Sunday to get over. So for this feel, I always felt this is the best thing that has happened to me. So I have never ever questioned my career choice. And once you love your profession, it's something like you never get tired. So Sundays, Mondays, everything is the same day. You work and you work.
Okay. So to make this conversation a bit interesting, my next question would be a rapid fire kind of a round. So you'll be given two choices and you have to choose one. And if you wish to
Right.
elaborate on the same, you can do that
Oh,
also.
very nice.
Okay. So the first thing is virtual court hearings or normal hearings, physical hearings.
Physical court hearings. But during the times of Corona, I'll say virtual is the best. But in normal course, physical hearing is the best. Like what happens in physical hearing, you can very well persuade the court in a better way.
Right.
So I'll say physical hearing is better than virtual courts, but not in the time of Corona. It has to stop.
Okay. Working in a corporate form structure or independently working.
Both have their own pros and cons, but I'll choose litigation, independent practice. You are your own masters. There is nobody above, nobody below. There's some difficulties, but I'll say once you start your own, you see all the legal stars with all the big shots. They all have their own legal practice, independent practice. So I'll say legal practice will have some. It takes time, but after some years, it's the best thing that could happen.
Next is independence to media or controlled independence to media, as you have recently argued in a case for media trial only.
Right.
Dua, Dua sir.
Vinod,
Yeah.
I'll say media have a immense power, but if that is channelized in a proper way, that will give good benefits to us.
Right.
And nowadays, we have independent media, like with no control. Slight modification to that control is required, slightly, not more than that. Like, but slightly is required. Slight requirement is there. So I'll call it like, for example, say I argued for when Mr. Vinod Doyan got him a bail done from the lower court. Thereafter, he got a bail done from Supreme Court as High Court as well.
Right.
So once I did that bail, there were so many media houses that called me. That was the usual practice. But some of them tried to ask me question which was very contrary. They tried to put all the political thing inside, and then I and it was a difficult thing. So that control, slight control, has to be there. Independent media should be independent, but slight, because the morality, I think it's lost cause nowadays. So slight control will not make it difficult. It will be a better thing for the society.
Okay. So Twitter or LinkedIn?
I'll say I'm a very technology challenged person, but I have recently started using LinkedIn, and I find it very nice. But and I used to use LinkedIn when I was in my college. So a lot of has thing has changed now. People are more or less are wishing birthdays on LinkedIn as well. And so I don't find that birthday wishing is important on the LinkedIn. And
Right.
Twitter, it's good, but I'll say LinkedIn is better than Twitter, because people are more clear here. You know what people are. Twitter, you don't get to know people. You know what facts are there, and if it get tweeted, then it goes on a troll as well. So LinkedIn is slightly better, but I still feel wishing birthday or wishing that you have done 8 years of good commendable job without even knowing a person over LinkedIn. I don't know. I don't practice that. So
So we're done with the rapid fire round. So my next question is, what are your views about the recent Supreme Court judge order where the Supreme Court has said that you can service someone over social media?
this service over WhatsApp. was earlier allowed by Delhi High Court in say around in 2018. So Delhi High Court has also allowed in some of the cases, and the lower courts have also followed that. Supreme Court was very strict in servicing. It has a specific format that you have to serve it, and then you have to show the proof and everything. But nowadays in Corona, people said like because the post office was not working that efficiently. Because in one of the cases that I got to do it, the service got delivered after 1 month and 3-4 days. So before that, this judgment came that say Supreme Court has allowed servicing through WhatsApp. So what I say, it's a good way, but uh, see, you have pros and cons in everywhere. So if I switch off my blue tick, Supreme Court says if the double tick is there, then it's served. I don't know whether that number is still in use by the other person or not. So servicing by WhatsApp should be one of the ways, and it should be in addition to the other ways, and not the only way that should be done by Supreme Court. Okay, so even now, even the Supreme Court has said that the WhatsApp is allowed, it's not the complete way to serve it. So Supreme Court is allowing it. Plus, you have to file it through email as well, or you have to give it through servicing to the other side. If you want to do it, you have to do it with other modes as well, in addition to WhatsApp. So this is what I feel, because most of us we don't use that number sometime, and blue ticks can be evaded easily.
And even WhatsApp is not a reliable source as
Not
well.
reliable.
So
You
that,
can change your
yeah,
number. That's the problem.
nice. Okay. So lastly, what advice would you like to give to the students currently who are pursuing their law and who have graduated? Like how to go about their career and how to choose the field,
Okay.
etc.
So we'll go point wise. First, who are still in court, who are still in college, and then who has or graduated. So
Right.
people who are still in college, one thing for sure, you have to study a lot. All the people you see who are slightly doing good, they must have put immense amount of study, which nobody can see. Okay, so for example, once you're doing a law, you're doing a in 5 years law or 3 years law, anything. You have lots of time with you. Okay, but rather than spending those time in here and there, start focusing and do a running internship with a criminal lawyer or a civil lawyer, not even a high court lawyer. Just go there, sit. Nothing will happen. You won't read anything. But I can assure you, once you pass out from your law school, your CPC, CRPC, and evidence or other things which are procedure laws will be very clear. So we study in our law school, do our classes, enjoy our life, have dinner, watch a movie, spend out time with our friends, write an article in a month. But that will help. I know, I agree to it, but you have to do your procedure law. No law school will teach you the entire procedure law, and that's the most important thing for your practice anywhere, whether you do it in a corporate firm, you do it in a litigation place, anywhere. You need to know the procedure laws of India, everything clear. If something is asked, you don't have to refer to the books. You should know that this is the chapter where something is written. Thereafter, you refer to the book that what exact sections are. But before that, you should know that what are the process of an FIR. Like say, what are the CPC? What is Order 21? What is Order 6, Rule 9, Rule 16? What are these? You should always know this. And for that, you have to do it while you are in college. And for that, you have to do a running internship, or else you start reading on your own. All the procedure laws, everything. The moment you do that, it's a very simple thing after you graduate. Once you graduate with all the backing that you have, like I'm talking about the lawyer who is a first generation lawyer who has no backing at all, then you know the laws. Wherever you speak, wherever you go for an interview, or wherever you see a group of lawyers and you present yourself, they will be impressed saying that, oh, this kid knows so much about law, procedure law, and he has just started his practice. Because what is most important in law practice is what you know laws. Whether you speak good English or not, it's hardly a matter. Whether you write good English or not, it won't matter. The only thing that matters is whether you can put the law in perspective, whether you can justify what the client did with the laws in India. And for that, you need to know the procedure laws at most. Everything. Enjoy your time, but at least give 2-3 hours, like say 5-10 hours a week on the procedure laws, so that your procedure laws are very clear, and that will help you a lot. I'm telling you, it's very important. I got help from my one of my seniors. He was a senior at law, and he told me this, and I did under him. And after the graduation was done, when I approached Supreme Court, people said you should not approach directly Supreme Court. We should know the laws. But when I started working there, the lawyers around me, they realized that I know the laws, the procedure laws, and therefore it helped me in doing all the lower court cases in very quick time. And I started my independent practice 4 years back after being 4 years to a junior, and because I give all my credit to that aspect only when I started all the procedure laws. So the one thing is clear that you have to read and start your procedure laws. All the laws should be like very clear. Those people who are passed out, and if you still want to do litigation, one thing is clear that there is no money, but there is lots of work. Once you have to read, put your head down and just work. There is no Sunday, there is no Monday. Whatever Sunday, Monday you have done, you have enjoyed in your law school. So there is no Sunday, there is no Monday. You have to just start reading and working. Put your head down, forget about money. You'll get enough money that you can survive, and just study. Just read everything. Whatever laws are there, because every week Supreme Court gives one or two citations which are very new, very novel. You have to read that, start making notes on that. Once you start making notes, you know what the judges have said, how the law has been framed, and that will help you in framing your drafting paper. Once you're drafting it, you know what the laws are, how the judges have interpreted, and once you know that, your drafting will be one of the best. Once drafting is done, and you know the drafting, you know the laws, your argument will be automatically one of the better that the young counsels will do. So one thing is for sure, this profession requires too much of reading. So you cannot compare with other people that they are having a good time. You will have a good time, you'll have good holidays. But when work comes, you have to leave everything and just work and forget about money for initial years. But I'll promise you, once you know the laws, know the work, money flows like from everywhere. One of my senior in profession told me that don't forget about money. Don't worry about the money. The clients and the Yamraj will come without knocking the door. There's two things that they come, and I assure you, once you know the laws, once you know that you have a good reputation of knowing the laws, and you have worked hard on the cases that are there in the Supreme Court, the recent ones, everything is very clear. Your drafting, your arguments, your knowledge within your colleagues, because you will be knowing more about that law thing, and that will keep updated. So that will help you a lot. And keeping updated is with the people who are studying law as well. You have to read and be updated. Take a newspaper, read it, leave the masala that is there in the newspaper. Rest, everything is very, very nicely written. Take it down, start writing it down. Write, read, write. Put your head down, work. And that's the only mantra for success in litigation. And corporate life, I haven't worked much in corporate life, so I couldn't tell. But I think that's the same thing is followed there. Your first few years, you have to just work, forget everything, and just work. In this profession, we are not known by our father's name. We are known by what chamber and what work we have done. Nobody knows from where do I come, but they know that what work that I have done. So you're known by that work, and for that work that to be counted on your name, you have to read and be updated. That's the only thing that you have to do. Once you do that, there is no stopping. You will be successful. There is no stopping with that.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir, for sharing your thoughts and your experience with us. This was a very helpful answer, and we wish you all the success which may come your way in future. And thank you for joining us today.
Thank you. Thank you.